Now, I did say I had an update with you guys, for you guys, about the centre-back situation, and it was an update you weren't going to be overly happy with. Basically, from my understanding, I don't believe that Gonzalo Inacio from Sporting is high up on the priority list for Liverpool with regards to a centre-back. Now, I'm not saying there hasn't been interest. I'm just saying what I was told is he's far down the list and Liverpool are highly unlikely to make a play for him to be the centre-back. We do need a left-sided centre-back. The club are aware of that, and the club want to bring in a left-sided centre-back, according to various reports. So let's wait and see there. Will it be Mickey van der Ven? Maybe. Will it be somebody else? Maybe. It won't be Oscar Gvardiol because, well, he's going to Manchester City like I told you guys about for a while. And that's pretty much where I'm at with regards to the latest in the centre-back search. I truly don't know. This is the one area of the pitch I'm really struggling to get a read on. Like, in midfield, pretty straightforward now, you know. It's one or the other, or maybe both. But other than that, I don't know about centre-back. I really don't. People are saying Levi Colwill. Look, Liverpool are admirers. Everybody are admirers. But the ball is well and truly in Chelsea's court with regards to Levi Colwill because he's their player. And they're going to try and sit down with him, come to an agreement on maybe a new contract. But if he was available to be sold, I do believe Liverpool would be in the conversation, at least being interested. We don't have much cover on the left-hand side for Virgil van Dijk. So it makes sense that a left-sided centre-back or somebody who can play on the left side of centre-back is the option. Other bits and pieces today, as I mentioned earlier on, Steven Gerrard has now been confirmed as the manager of Al Ettifaq, which he ruled out a week ago, but now has changed his mind again. What was that? Sorry? Yeah, no, just got confirmed that there was another truckload of cash reversed up. They're going for the old Kylian Mbappe play there. Should have gone for Pau Torres, who's not at Villa and is a left-footed centre-back. I always had a little doubt about Pau Torres, Harris, and the Premier League. No doubt about him as a player. And I think he's been at Villarreal since he was 5 or something like that. I read a piece on it the other day. Country Bob, thank you, my friend, for subscribing with Prime. Appreciate you. He said, I want to see Mark Gay from Palace. Do you know what? He was mentioned. He was in the list a while ago, Country Bob. Now, I can't, be a liar and say I've seen much more since, but it was a name that was mentioned, certainly. And I think, it was a name that was mentioned, and when it was mentioned and we discussed it, I think it was fairly positive from the audience about that possibility. This is where my lack of watching a lot of other Premier League clubs really comes in, because I haven't paid attention to him at all. But profile-wise, I can see why it would make sense. I've seen some sources say Liverpool open up contract talks with Matip. Yes, I read those as well today. Kind of came out of the blue, right? I still don't think that stops us bringing in a centre-back if Liverpool are looking to extend Matip. Be weird, though. And I like Joel, so I'm not against it. If Jurgen wants to keep another centre-back around for a year or two, I'm honestly not against it. When Joel Matip plays, I'm always comfortable. He mightn't be fit and available to play as much as we'd like. He mightn't be needed to play as much as he'd like. But I'm always relaxed when he's on the pitch. I don't have any issues with Joel. He had a bit of a sticky patch where he wasn't at his best, but ultimately, I think he's been a damn good signing for the club. We need 4 centre-backs, and Joel is much better than Gomez. We need minimum 4, Tom, yes. And I would almost argue that if we went to continue this, what is looking like a back 3, in possession at least, you'd need another centre-back. 5 would be what I'd feel more comfortable with. Sepp van den Berg has 1 year to go on his deal, so if he goes out on loan somewhere, you'd expect Liverpool to agree a new deal with him before he goes out on loan. But yeah, I do think we'll bring in a centre-back. I just honestly haven't got a clue who it will be. Look, I know we'd all love Colwill. I think we can agree on that one. Do you think we should sell Gomez this summer? You can only sell if you have a willing buyer. And what Liverpool have at least done by giving Joe Gomez a new deal last year was, at least hold his value. Because you're still talking about a relatively young fella who's had a horrendous time with injuries and a mixed bag at Liverpool. So I can't see us selling. I can't see us selling any centre-backs at the moment. Maybe Matip if something worked out. But then again, as I said earlier on, there is reports that Liverpool are talking to Matip about a new deal. Gomez is awful. And I think he's 26. Gomez is awful. I mean, that's just plainly not true. You can talk about him having a mixed bag, or not concentrating enough, or ball watching, or being caught out of position a little bit. But to say he's awful is just untrue. It really is. Joe Gomez, on his day, can be a damn good centre-back. Would I be pinning my centre-back pairing on him? No. But I also have no problems with Joe being at Liverpool Football Club, particularly with the cover he can give us at right back, where he's actually looked better for me than he has at centre back. Do you think we might be waiting to see if we can sign Colwill later on in the window? Potentially, yes. Chelsea had to get some business sorted and done before the end of the financial year, which was the last day of June. Hence the rush to get so many players out the door there very quickly. Colwill is open to the possibility of moving and staying, from what I can read. We've seen Brighton, where he was on loan, had an offer of 30 million turned down. They were going to go back with 40 million, but when I read the piece, it said that they felt they were wasting their time at that moment, because it's really up in the air on Colwill. But do you know what? Of all the things we need, I do feel like if Liverpool monitor the market for a little bit longer and see how it plays, centre-back is the area I think we can do that. I think we have a little bit of wiggle room there, you know, because we've still got Sepp van den Berg as a Liverpool player at the moment. Nat Phillips still at the club. And then we've got the 4 first-choice centre-backs. So certainly we can be a bit more patient in the centre-back search, but we do need one. We do need one for the left side. Van de Ven to Spurs looks very close now, said Craig Adams. The only way he goes to Spurs is if Liverpool don't want them. I don't mean to run Spurs down, but that's the God's honest truth. If there's a decision to be made, he will go to Liverpool. It's pretty clear. Will be difficult to get Colwill, but I'd love him. Think he'd be perfect. I agree. And even go back to the start of this window a bit further, I was speaking about Colwill a lot because he'd have no shortage of admirers or potential suitors in the Premier League. And also, yes, as the chat's pointed out, Chelsea are looking for ridiculous sums of money for some of the players they're moving on. They pulled United's pants down over Mason Mount, and Liverpool won't listen to stupid fucking amounts that they're being linked with. Craig, have you heard anything about this rumour? Klopp talked to Colwill last week. No, but I can absolutely tell you that Colwill is somebody the club are admirers of. I have not got the information to say he spoke with him or not. Honestly, I don't know. I'd love that to be the case, Mickey. But look, he's right at the top of my list. If Levi Colwill's available, it just works. But I just see Chelsea demanding more than we'd be willing to pay, if they're willing to let him go. Craig, I think we might not sign a centre-back with Matip's extension, and there's not been any solid centre-back links. I think Colwill is an exception if he's available, but I think Chelsea won't sell. I'm worried because the defence was shaky last season. I think VVD's position needs to be competed with because Canali was the best centre-back. I'm with you 100%, Harris. I think we need to bring in a left-sided centre-back regardless of what happens. And we're looking, and I would be very surprised if we end this window without signing a centre-back. But I'd be honest and say I don't know who the answer is going to be. But I can say that I was told Inacio is unlikely